So, I'm coming to you from the Earth Magic Shop garden this morning. My dear friend Amanda's place. We're teaching a class on herbal glycerites this morning. And on my drive over this morning, I was called to share not only a bit of wisdom about the plants, but the story of hawk medicine. As I've seen it coming up a lot over and over again, and I think that it's really poignant, not only for this time, but really the last few years. I'm sitting in front of some lovely mallow and some lemon balm, and the message that kept coming through, aside from the lore and the wisdom of the plants, was don't allow people who are committed to misunderstanding you steal your peace. And we're seeing that in all sorts of different ways throughout our individual lives and, global events on the planet. And the reason I wanted to come forward and speak to it is it just felt like I've had this message for a while, and today it really came through strongly to share hawk medicine. And I think a lot of you are familiar with hawk. Hawk comes to us through so many different avenues when we're out in the wilds, and it's a medicine of guardianship and protection, but it also speaks to owning who you are and owning the beauty of who you are in the world and what you do and the gifts that you have and what it is that you're here to really bring to the planet. And along with that is this energy of flying high, taking the high road, speaking to the truth of who you are, and not letting other people's insecurities, scarcity, lack, whatnot, pull you down. Because if you've ever witnessed hawk out in the wild, they're beautiful, incredibly majestic birds. And what comes through with that is they can be misunderstood, as can we in our lives. Hawk helps us balance the big picture, the finer details, because they fly really high in the sky, and yet their prey is very small. And so if we're too focused on where we're going, we can lose sight of the details. Things can fall through the cracks. And if we're too focused on the details, we can lose sight of the big picture. And so we need a balance of the two, and hawk helps us with that. The other big thing hawk was calling me to share this morning is, if you ever seen hawk flying through an area, and sometimes you'll see little birds dive bombing hawk and chasing it out of an area, and what that can speak to in our own lives. And actually I'll back up a little bit. Sometimes hawk is just flying through. Sometimes hawk is genuinely in the area depredating the nests. But if you watch, hawk keeps flying high, and eventually those little birds, they turn around and they go back to their own territories, to their own nests, with whatever perceived threat that hawk brought being gone for now or whatnot. What that can speak to is someone who is the hawk is sometimes there can be people that come into your life that don't understand who you are. They don't understand what it is that you bring to the table, and the things don't understand how to attain or achieve some of the things that you have attained and achieved in your life. And what that can come through is jealousy and lack and insecurity and scarcity thinking. And I always say, own what's yours to own. I tell all my clients that, own what's yours to own, but don't let other people make their stuff yours. Don't allow them to project their crap onto you. That's not yours to own. And so, like the hawk, keep taking the high road, keep being you. And I like that message said this morning, don't allow people who are committed to misunderstanding you steal your peace. And so when you're coming from a place of walking with love, with walking with light, with walking with compassion, with genuinely trying to be a good human on the planet and do good work in the world, and you have people who come through and through their own lack and insecurity and scarcity thinking are causing friction in your life because they don't know how to attain or achieve something you have been able to attain or achieve. Sometimes it's how you're received in the community, the way people really love and appreciate you, and how you're able to make connections easily. Sometimes it's a skill set that you have that either you come by naturally or that you've spent years honing and cultivating. It might be that you have a really loving relationship and the individuals creating friction in your life don't know how to attain that for themselves. It could be your financial status. And again, all of it, and what I think is really the most poignant in all of this is instead of those people coming through to you and saying, wow, like, you know, I genuinely, like, I see what you've been able to attain or achieve in your life, and I want that for myself, and I don't know how to get it. Can you share a little bit about your journey? Can you share a little bit about how you were able to achieve this financial success, or how you were able to get over, whatever things you had to overcome to be able to have a happy, healthy relationship? Or, where did you go to study, these different things that you're doing in the world? Like, how did you come by that? Because it fascinates me and I want to learn more about it. And I'd like to bring more of that into my life. Instead of coming from that place, they can come at you with attack. They can feel threatened by you instead of realizing that we all have the ability to have beautiful, happy, prosperous, loving, peaceful, wonderful lives on the planet. We all have the ability to achieve health in whatever form that looks like for us. To achieve wealth, to achieve peace and ease, and to really genuinely live a great life. That's there for all of us. And so I guess the message I'm sending out today is that I'm wishing all of you peace and ease. I'm wishing all of you health and wealth and loving relationships in your life, whether that's family or friends or spouse. I want that for all of you. And, it's what I'm working on cultivating within my own life, further leveling up the things that I have attained and achieved, and, being that beacon in the world as best that I can. Because I recognize that there's a lot of strife and there's a lot of anger and frustration and jealousy and insecurity and fear in the world, and it genuinely doesn't have to be like that. You genuinely can have good things in your life. And so if any of you out there are watching this or feeling some comfort in that and you'd like to work with me, please feel free to hop on my website, spiritlightsanctuary.com. You can book a herbal, spiritual, or wellness consultation, or an energy healing session, or a reading, or you can check out some of the many classes that I offer. This morning it is one of the classes in the Seed to Salve series where we're talking about making an herbal glycerite, which works really well for some of the more gentle plants and for some of the more gentle people. For people who can't work with, alcohol-based tinctures, whether that's children or adults who are choosing not to have alcohol in their life, or for whatever reason, maybe it's a conflict with their medication, it's not a good fit for them. And so lemon balm is one that's incredible to work with. A glycerite makes a really lovely, soft, heart uplifting glycerite. It also can be really beneficial for people who are dealing with hyperthyroidism. Oops, we got a little bird flying right overhead. Another great plant that works well in glycerite is rose. It's really gentle, another great heart healing herb. And both of these plants you can work with, as you're working to uplift your life. They bring a nice, gentle, soothing, uplifting medicine to the table, along with oat straw is another one I love pairing for heart support and heart healing and gentle soothing the nervous system. So, sending you many blessings on your path wherever you may be, and be well and enjoy some tea today, a little walk in nature. Always check for ticks, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.